I wanted to get a real quick video update with some more news as to what's going on with regards to Russia and Ukraine. And we have two things that I want to talk about with what's going on the ground. And that is that you had some missile strikes in Dnipropetrovsk, which is a city more towards the center, right outside of, say, Donbass, and in between, say, Donbass and Kiev. So it's in the center east of Ukraine. And once again, this, I believe, shows that the Russian military is moving slowly, step by step, towards the west, as they continue to wrap up what is going on in the Donbass and in the east of Ukraine. I think they're going to start to make their moves towards the west. So I thought that was an interesting development. Could mean something, could not, but we're seeing more activity towards Dnipro. It's called Dnipro, but it used to be called Dnipropetrovsk. Much more difficult name, Dnipropetrovsk. But the Ukraine, after the coup, the Maidan government changed it to Dnipro. Kind of like they messed around with Kiev and Kiev. I've always known it as Kiev, K-I-E-V, but that was interesting news. We also have some news that is breaking, that the Russian military had a missile strike on what they are saying is the last remaining fuel depots in Kiev. So if this is to be believed, it means that, you know, getting fuel for the operations for the Ukraine military is going to be very, very difficult. Very difficult if they have really taken out one of the last remaining fuel depots. And this is like outside of Kiev. And this is big news because, once again, it means that the Ukraine military is not only being withered away at by the Russian military, but it's being ground to a halt because supplies, logistics, and things like this, food, water, you know, with each passing day, it's just going to get more difficult for the Ukraine military to do much of anything, isn't it? So I thought that was big news. And finally, we have what I think is a really interesting story, a really interesting development. So we've been talking about how the US, the UK, the collective West is going absolutely crazy trying to get India on side and trying to get India to stop buying Russian oil, trying to get India to condemn Russia's actions in Ukraine and all of these things. And the UK was going to send, the UK was going to send a diplomatic mission to India, comprising of like 10 high-level UK diplomats to once again try and get India to turn away from Russia, to sanction Russia, and get them on side with the EU and the US and Australia and the whole collective West. Try to pry India away from their current stance, try to change their mind. And the news is that India has told these 10 UK diplomats to not come. They've canceled the meeting and the trip to India for these UK diplomats. This is a big story, but it's not what makes this story interesting. We don't really have the details why the Indian government said, don't come to the UK diplomats. They said, don't come here. We're not going to host you guys. But the rumor is that the Indian government was just getting sick and tired of the West constantly badgering them to try and change their minds. So they're just kind of getting sick of it. But that's not the big story. The really big story, what makes this interesting, is that today, as I'm doing this video, the Chinese foreign minister landed in India. Incredible. So they have the Chinese foreign minister, very high level meeting. You know, the foreign minister is in India, so they can talk about bilateral relations. They can talk about Ukraine. They can coordinate next moves. But more importantly, they can, China and India can work on resolving their problems. I mean, they have a lot of problems, a lot of big issues between India and China. But we're seeing that these two countries are moving towards resolving those issues, or at least they're trying to resolve those issues. Now, you ask yourself, why is China and India, why are they actively working to resolve these issues at this moment in time? And I think if you take a step back and you ask that question, why are they doing this? Why now? Why are they meeting to try and bury the hatchet, given all the disputes that they have? And we're talking military, land, border disputes. The only conclusion one can get is that you're looking at a big play to create a new system, and that system is going to include Russia, China, India, and whoever else comes on board. And it looks like India at this moment, and they could change. India may change its mind, but it looks like at this moment that India is ready to take part in this new system. Now, it doesn't mean that if India is a part of this new system, they won't be a part of the collective West system either. I mean, I don't think at this moment the one system excludes the other or cancels out the other. And I'm sure India is going to want to benefit from both, from being associated with both systems. But there's no doubt that India is not keen on renouncing the China-Russia play. They want to be a part of it. I think that's crystal clear. And if they can solve their issues with China, long-standing, difficult issues with China, I think that's good for the world. It's going to be good for India. It'll be good for China, and it'll be good for Russia as well. That's for sure. But is it good for the collective West? Well, they're going to have to work with India. They're going to have to work with India and make the best of it, because India is going to make its choices. I think that's clear. They're going to act as a sovereign state and make the choices that's best for them. India really is the big story, one of the big stories of this conflict. They've really asserted themselves as a great power, and it's been interesting to watch. It's also interesting to watch the U.S. and the U.K. just tear their hair out to try and get India to take sides. Fascinating stuff. Anyway, that's the video, everybody. TheDuran.locals.com. Take care.